Hello guys, it's James and we are here for the round 16 footy bets. This will be the last one here in Geelong. I'm heading back tomorrow, or tonight actually. So I'll be able to do longer videos and stuff, but this will be the last one where we keep it kind of brief. And hopefully Jono and I's schedule overlap in the future. But yeah, it should be the last quick one. So yeah, apologies. We're just going to rush through it again. That we're going to rush through the recap. We're going to rush through the bets, but yeah, it's just hard to find a bit of time for the moment. But anyway, we'll go through round 15 misses. You can see we've got the misses here, and we've got miss from game 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just when it's looking hopeless. Then we smash game 6 and 7, and it's actually kind of worked well for me because I go a bit harder after I've missed a couple. So yeah, hitting on the Sundays after missing a lot. It happened the week before too. Is actually I don't know, very advantageous because I'll be going harder and I don't advise that. I know I've suggested that martingale strategy before, and people don't like sort of going harder after a miss. But yeah, the last 2 weeks it's been very good out of a bad start. But anyway, this one was super unlucky. Xavier Dersma had that sore hammy, went off at halftime. Oh, and I should preface this as well. I haven't been able to watch. I've probably only been able to watch like 1 or 2 games this week because I've been down seeing family. So that's another reason why we can rush through this. But yeah, Dersma was off halftime with that hamstring. He was. It did count as a refund though because it happened at halftime. If it happens after halftime, you don't get it refunded. But anyway, so we got the bonus bet because Nick Martin missed. I'm still bullish on Nick Martin, and as you can see in the form guide below, he had a nice like 1.5 month stretch of hitting over 25. I thought in Freo, because I'm pretty sure he is like is he a Perth boy or something, or West Coast was looking for him before. Anyway, he usually plays well over there, so unlucky about that miss. Everyone else looked great. Luke Ryan, Jordan Clark off the halfback. Oh, and Luke Jackson. So I was surprised he didn't hit more. He was going up against the first gamer for Essendon, Vicentini, and the kid played really well, don't get me wrong, but Luke Jackson, I thought he was going to go in for like 25. So for him just to get 21, I mean, he had a great performance on Supercoach, so can't really blame him. But anyway, we've got to keep going. Game 2, this one was great. Tom Stewart, like, could have played a little bit better. Took some kickouts. Looked a bit sore at times, but took some mark. He did exactly what I needed him to do and what I thought he would do against Brisbane. But Dangerfield, my God, he has, what was it, 5 scoring shots, 4 at minimum, 3 behind, and then it was 1 or 2 out in the full. Like, oh, all of Geelong kind of shat the bed for Danger's 350th. So I thought he was absolute lock, and you can see he had him gold, lock of the week. I can't believe he missed out all players. So I was absolutely baffled by that. But yeah, I just realised it's 11 o'clock, and by the time this video uploads, it might not be in time for the game, so I'll keep it quick. Dylan Stephens, this is a role change, so he's been popping off half back. I called it 2 weeks ago. He was my lock of the week when he's in half back. He's on the wing. As a winger, there's only a couple of players who can get 20 posies. Dylan Stephens obviously not one, but 15 I would still be alright for again, but he'd have to be paying better odds. There's no way I'm taking Dylan Stevenson when he's on the wing for $1.16. That's just unfortunate. Everyone else fine. Actually, Chera's, we'll talk about him next week, but yeah, everyone else in that bet was fine. Game 4, Matty Roberts. So we'll actually have to watch out for him in future because, again, I'm saying this with hindsight of seeing the Doggies Sydney game. So he did miss, and it missed quite badly, 13 posies. But just this game where he missed, he was out on the wing. So Errol Goulden's back, obviously, but there was no Jake Lloyd. Yes, Callum Mills is in the back line popping off, but Matty Roberts was still hitting then. Callum Mills played a bit on the wing, then in back line. But if he's just missing by 1 and he was kind of half back on the wing, I like that. I wanted to see how he played with sort of everyone back in the squad, and we saw that he didn't get anywhere near it. So might have to be someone we avoid from now on, but he's been great for more than half the year. So unfortunate about that. I'm just going to keep it short to the misses this week. And again, I'm sorry, I'll be able to chat more next week. Side bottom, 10 posies at quarter time, and then just did not see it for like the rest of the game. So you got 18, so 8 posies in 3 quarters. Man, that was very unlucky. Jack Chris did the opposite, barely touched it, and then got like 10 in the last. So yeah, can happen with some of the boys from Collingwood. I mean, they don't have to, tear the house down. They'll still get the win. So I guess it just rotates who has a good one. Wangani Miller has been awesome. I haven't had a reason not to bet on him. Oh, here we go, and you'll see. So we only won 2 bets this week, but remember the bonus bet, you don't have to do anything tricky. Just even if it's on a different platform or whatever, just do the exact same bet and throw your bonus bet on it. Nothing tricky, but yeah, this one was great. Connor Iden actually hit with, I don't know, like a minute to go. He had needed 3 posies in 4 minutes or something and did it, so that was fantastic. Everyone else there, Johnny Noble, a little hesitant on, just a little. He got a lot of kickouts. It wasn't 10, was it? It was a lot, but he only just hit 21, so I love a player who gets kickouts, free posies, don't get me wrong, but I don't like it when I have to rely on a lot of kickouts for posies. John Noble's been really good for handball receives, switching the play, just being a hungry seagull in the back line. But he missed the week before, and he just hit this week with a lot of kickouts. So I still will like to back him. He's still my favourite backline player there for Gold Coast. But yeah, again, just someone to be hesitant of. No, just someone to watch out for. I'd still bet on him. And this one, I was very happy with this one. Sam Darcy to hit against Richmond, over 15 posies. I love it. I never really bet on a big full forward for 15 posies, but he is a different beast at the moment. Sam Darcy is popping off. Bontempelli had a stinker the week before, but obviously we all know that was the Windhager tag. If he's going to run free, he's going to have a game like that. So very happy with that one. Anyway, let's get on to the bets. I need to switch over to this one. Whoops, no, is it that one? No, this one, sorry. And let me set this up in a way where it actually makes sense. Sorry, again, we're doing this on the fly. I'll edit it, I swear. Bring this down so we don't see any of that overlap, my bad. Alrighty, so I just had to chop a little bit out because I didn't have this ready, but here we are, Gold Coast versus Melbourne, the first one of Saturday. So you can see I was literally talking about Johnny Noble, I was hesitant on, but I've included him. Oh, and another thing. So when I was typing this up, Daniel Rioli was $1.22 or something. Braden Fiorini was $1.28. So I bet on him. I've included him here, but he's gone down to like $1.16 now. So I could not believe that. Everyone's just losing value. But everyone here I like. I mean, to get the odds I would either include Ed Langdon. Ed Langdon is always going to hit if he's on the wing, if he's doing some crazy tag roll, which I think that was just once off on Dacos. He hit last week. I do like Ed Langdon, or you're going to have to include like someone like a Jake Bowie who is good for 20, but you just go in the next bracket, or like a Christian Petrarca for 20. He missed last week because of the Bergman tag. So those are the types of players I would include just to get to the $3 line now that Braden Fiorini is a bit too short. But Dan Rioli, again, I included him because he was like it was $1.26 or something great. Included him, and then it's like, your odds have changed. I'm like, what's changed? Daniel Rioli's dropped 10 cents, but I still like him, right? I like John Noble more, but if I can get Dan Rioli for a good price in the 15 posi bracket, yeah, sure. He's going to run and carry. He's essentially going to do what John Noble does, but just in my opinion, he's a little less hungry. Yeah, like Rioli. Harvey Langford, I've been keen on for 20 plus in the past. Yeah, he's definitely transitioning into a big, strong midfielder there at Melbourne. I think he just goes, a bit unsighted because a lot of the attention, obviously, on Petrarca. Clayton Oliver stands out. But yeah, Harvey Langford, I think he's very good. I think he's only had 2 misses this year. One is in that last 10. But yeah, he's averaging almost 20 posies, like it. Braden Fiorini, I mentioned last week, was struggling to get into the side. Absolutely bonkers numbers in the VFL, but it's kind of a little bit misleading because he can tear it up in the midfield in VFL, but he comes into the AFL side, he'll be on the wing. Doesn't get as much of an opportunity to touch it, but his CBAs did spike a little bit, 30% last week. So look, I don't expect Fiorini to get a lot of midfield minutes, but I just think he's a great 15 if he's on the wing, half forward, rotating mid. If he's obviously not going to overtake Anderson, Miller, Rao, Humphreys, but yeah, Fiorini, strong chance for 15. Just a shame he's $1.16 now. So I don't know. Thankfully I got him for $1.28, but would I be as bullish on him for $1.16? Maybe not. Like someone for the same price took Miller $1.15, 10 out of 10. His bad game is where he's just getting 20. So Melbourne won't tag unless someone is an absolute standout. They're not going to look for Took Miller. Geelong tagged him because they have like a couple of people who can do that same job. But Melbourne, I think, will only tag just an outright gun. Like, I think they tagged Holmes this year. They tagged Nick Dacos. Yeah, I don't see them tagging Took Miller. John Noble, I've highlighted. I like. He's got so many brownie points. He would have to do something crazy to miss. Like that 12, I still gave him the benefit of the doubt because it was a GMHBA. It was tight ground. Geelong, yeah, had a great one. And they nullified a lot of players. Kept Anderson quiet, took Miller to 20. John Noble had to play more of a defensive role on Brad Close. But anyway, love John Noble. Just a little bit more hungry. If he can start to get 25, I'll be very happy. But yeah, it takes a lot of kickouts, but don't want to rely on it. Anyway, Max Gawn's a bit too cheap. Oh, I bet on Max Gawn last week, but just while we're speaking of him, he's green and green, but I wouldn't really consider Max Gawn against Jared Witts. Jared Witts and some of those big boys are conventionally ruck killers. They'll just wear him down body to body. So anyway, I like Max Gawn, but I kind of like Max Gawn against the more athletic ruckmen, or especially the younger ones, the less experienced. But Christian Salem, 2 misses, 14-14 close. But Dan Rioli, like I said, he was presenting such great value. Still is at this rate, but I'd be more bullish. Not as bullish at this price. Cozzy Pickett looking fantastic. He can go missing for half a game, as you saw last week. I think he almost hit his target. I think it was like 14 posies at halftime, and then that's the thing. And we got in. I think it was towards earlier in the year when Nathan Broad tagged him from Richmond. He can have great games if he goes unsighted, but super expensive player. I mean, very eccentric, lightning, quick. Obviously he's a great spark for Melbourne. So if someone's looking to tag him, I mean, you don't have to tag him for the whole game, but if you just have someone on him for a quarter, he can go unsighted. So he's not the type of player to break a tag, but he's someone to get attention. So that's probably the only concern. And he's against Gold Coast. I'd like him more for a shitter team, to be honest. Harvey Langford I spoke about, really like him. Ed Langdon I like if he's not tagging. Fiorini lost his value. Jeffrey and Euland I both like for their current price. Euland's about to be one game from 9 out of 10. Fantastic. He kind of just hits. But Jeffrey, Rioli, Noble are more seagulls. Euland just beats his opponent. Might present a value, present an option on the other side of the ground or something for a kick. But Euland doesn't have to go. I don't know. It's just the role he plays just doesn't excite me about getting the footy a lot. But yeah, I mean, stats don't lie. He's almost 9 or 10, averaging just a little bit over. But I kind of like someone who's maybe another, almost into the next bracket. You know what I mean? Like Johnny Noble is 25. I know he's had a stinker the last couple of weeks, but still back him. Sam Closey on the wing, every chance to hit. Not as bullish on, but yeah, very good chance. Christian Petrarca missed last week with the Bergman tag. I think he can easily bounce back. Gold Coast don't tag. Took Miller, hasn't missed all year. Clayton Oliver can have spurts of quiet games, but can have big ones. So for $1.20, great value, and it's up to you if you think this will be a good week for him. Matt Rowell I've highlighted, but Matt Rowell can have instances of his last year's season where he goes really quiet, and after a 34, I never like backing players after their best game, so I'd kind of wait. Jake Bowie, love his games where he's missed. He's been super close, but anyway, he's done nothing wrong. I would like to see him just get a little bit more footy back there. Oh, actually, Jake Lee was out too, so that actually helps probably Bowie's case. Anyway, I like Bowie. I like Gawn too, green and green, but like I said, just going up against Jared Witts, who's actually been very good form and will stop the opposition ruck. Noah Anderson, I like. I'm very tempted to include. Look, Melbourne have tagged with Sparrow, Langdon, Oliver. They do use a tag. How effective that is debatable, but Noah Anderson, after 42, I think someone will have to go to him. I think he's maybe 5th in line for the Brownlow this year, so... Christian Petrarca, I feel like he's the only one from Melbourne who'll actually hit, and coming off a miss, so I'd prefer Petrarca over Anderson. Goal scorers, I don't really like any of them. Jake Melsham, I mean, yeah, sure, missed last week, but yeah, not super bullish on any of these goal scorers. All right, moving on to the second game of Saturday, we have Hawthorn versus North Melbourne. So this one, I actually really like, and sometimes it's really cool to just take the sample size of the last month. So yeah, I have always the last 10 games, but it's really cool to just see how they're tracking in their last month. And we have one miss, and that's Simpkin where he stunk it up. That was against Freo, I think it was, 2-3 weeks ago now, because they had a bye. And Harry Sheasel when he was out of position. So if we just quickly fly through these, Luke Parker hasn't missed 15 all year for North. I think he's only had 2 misses for 20 for North, so he seems safe as houses. Jai Simpkin, I've bet on him for 20 plus. I think 15 is very achievable, especially for that price. If he was under $1.20, I wouldn't do it, but yeah, I really like it. Jarman Impey, he's had a great stretch. I think ever since becoming like a dad, he's just popped off. And last week we saw he has taken the role that I thought Amon was going to be doing. The run, carry, switch, great kick. Like, he is hungry. He's taken a lot of kick outs. And yeah, in his last like month of footy, averaging like, 22 posies. Just, yeah, really like what I'm seeing from Impey. Someone who just wants the footy. Caleb Daniel, 1 miss all year. He's $1.20. He's getting in my bet no matter what. Like I say every week, his only job in the team is to be the great ball distributor, great kick. He's not a defender. He's not going to spoil marks. He's not like, yeah, Caleb Daniel is there to kick the footy. That's his only job. Harry Cheezel had those 2 misses, but that when he was kind of out of position. He was hitting when he was in the back line. If he does kind of a half forward mid-roll, he's missing. But it seems like North have found their structure. They've got Colby McKercher where he should be playing. They've got Sheasel where he should be playing, which is like on ball. Sheasel did have that stint and half back, and he's great. He can still hit then. But look, if Sheasel's playing anywhere but the forward line, I'm bullish on him. But yeah, it seems like North have found their structure. So no more weird chopping and changing of who's playing where. Dylan Stevenson, I've highlighted for 15 plus, but again, I would have to get him for a better value than that if he's on the wing. If you see him come out and play with the team and he's playing with the backline boys and, the warm-ups, training with the backline players, I like. But it seems like I said, North have everyone seems to have found their home at the moment. So if his home is on the wing, I think he might be sort of taking Darcy Tucker's. I know Darcy Tucker's been out for ages, but they've just been moving pieces, and if Colby McKercher's popping off back there, and Zach Fisher, actually, he was sub last week, so is he still in the lineup? He is. It's just hard to also find room for Dylan Stevens. Dylan Moore, I like. I used to like him a lot for 15 last year. He had a bit of a cold start, but yeah, his last month has just shown averaging 22.3. I really like him. I'm surprised I didn't actually include him in this bet, but I think just because I've had eyes on Jai Simpkin a bit more, that he shouldn't really have absolute stinkers like that. As a captain, he should, at least be getting 15, at least. So yeah, I like Simpkin. Harry Morrison, I like, but I just didn't include. He missed last week. I was bullish on him for 15. 1 miss in that cold, shitty game in Tasmania is not a reason to just write him off. So if someone misses like that, I'm keen for him to bounce back. I'm probably playing on Dylan Stevens. So anyway. Weddle has been fantastic, especially since Sicily's been out. And Sicily's not back this week, so I assume Weddle to just run and carry, just be a very similar role to Nick Blakey. Impey is looking, I've spoken about him, looking great. Massimo D'Ambrosio, fantastic on the wing. He has had, I think, 4 misses this year, which is not great, but, he's, arguably last year was in contention for the All-Australian team. I think there's definite signs there. Like, he's had a couple of 30, 20 posi games, but yeah, at this value I like, right? Because he should be a player who's, $1.20 for 15. But when he's presenting this value, when he's not at his best form, I think is a risk worth taking. Josh Battle, 8 out of 10, $1.50. Yeah, he can easily hit, take some kickouts. I like Battle, but just I feel like there's other players just a little bit safer. He's averaging 19 over his last month, which is great. Anyway, LDU at $1.15 I think is fantastic. He had that miss against West Coast where I was absolutely baffled. I was like, of all games for you to get like 25, you should be getting it against West Coast. But his last 2 games against Freo and Carlton, he seems to be back on track. We just got him in an absolute blip period. So LDU for 20, if you want to include him instead of like Luke Parker for 15, I wouldn't really take anyone else out at that rate. It'd just be kind of that extra leg to get you over the $3 line. Caleb Daniel, like Jai Newcomb, he's probably Hawthorn's best bet to getting 25 posies. He's just been a little inconsistent of late, but he's probably the best price you'll ever get him for 20 plus. So if you think he's 15, because they had the buy. Oh, that was the Adelaide game where everyone stunk it up. So yeah, I like Jai Newcomb. Otherwise, his misses have been very close. Yeah, actually, I like Jai Newcomb. You're not going to see him for that value, $1.26. Tom Powell, fantastic. Only hesitancy there is he should have eased up a little bit when Wardlaw came back, but he hasn't. I mean, he did when Wardlaw came back originally, but yeah, he's having a great stretch of runs. So I like him, but North should have their team locked away. But yeah, Josh Ward, just a little bit careful. Yes, he's had a great run, but Cam Mackenzie's back. So I think he could get like high teens. Every chance to get 20 plus. Like, don't write him off. Yeah. But just, when there's a change into the side, just I'd rather go someone whose role is more secure. Not that his role is not. He's going to be playing on ball, but just someone to take some of his posies. Plus, I think Jai Newcomb's going to be the one to maybe to turn it around. 25, Harry Sheasel, then he's proper pos, like it. Colby McCurcher, I like, but for $1.40, I mean, I could highlight. Yeah, he has been the man at the moment. And you probably, if you've been watching the videos all year, we were bullish on him for 15 plus at one stage because he dropped. So obviously there was that role change, and then when he peaked, like he was 20 to start the year, we were getting for 15 posies, and now he's back to 25. Like that is the crazy fluctuation of where, I mean, the half back role for one, but also just where he thrives as a player. So great to see him playing again where he should be. LDU, the one miss, green and green, I really like. But LDU, when he gets 25, he'll usually like just get 25. I mean, he got 30 last week against Carlton, but look what's happening to Carlton at the moment. So against Hawthorn might be a different story. They won't tag. Hawthorn, I think, have only tagged like once this year. So LDU, every chance, but I just like Sheasel at this rate. Goal kickers, they're all North players. Look, someone from North is going to score. Paul Curtis, arguably the best year. Nick Larkey, I mean, their full forward, they're like, their main target is $1.20 because you got all the Hawthorn boys first. So someone to consider. But again, I don't know. I think I've been burnt from Dangerfield. Like someone who should kick a goal doesn't. I'm a little bit off the goal scorers at the moment. Anyway, so moving on to the next game, which is Collingwood versus West Coast. This is the game Saturday. All right, you can see here. This one is a little interesting. I was tossing and turning on who to include. Well, Nick Dacos, to me, was kind of a lock, right? So when you look at his games, we'll just go straight to who I picked. Nick Dacos, 28 and 28 are two genuine misses. So he's missed twice by 2 posies. The 18 and the 19 are hard tagging rolls. So you'll remember the 18 was when he played against Freo. All Collingwood players shat the bed then, but they won. Only one player got over 20 posies, and that was Jack Crisp. Everyone else had a stinker, but they still won. Anyway, the point is that was where Corey Wagner was on Nick Dacos, and Nick Dacos was like injured, had to play full forward, just not looking great, but he still kicked a goal and had 18 posies, I think, or 2 goals. Anyway, and the 19 was that one, Queen's birthday. Ed Langdon was all over him. But against West Coast, who was doing that job? Nick Dacos. He could have easily been 8 for 10 for his 30. This should say 30 plus, not 25. Sorry. We're going for 30 plus. That's why, just emphasize, we're going Nick 30 plus. That should not have been 25. I think he's every chance to hit. He's second favourite for the Brownlow behind Bailey Smith. Is he equal with Jordan Dawson? I think he's second favourite still. But Nick Dacos, he's a hungry player. He's a smart player. I think he knows he's every chance to maybe not win the Brownlow this year. He needs to step up in this back half of the year against West Coast at Marvel, Saturday night. I think Nick Dacos is just going to have fun with them. So absolutely like that pick there. This one, this bet in general, I actually kind of fucked it up. I wanted to take out one leg, but I didn't. So sometimes I'll start with a bunch of legs and then I'll untick players and then I just hone in on who I really like. When I went to place this bet, I'm like, yeah, I've got everyone out. And then I had to deposit money and then the bet came up again and I forgot to untick someone. So I was actually going to untick Jack Crisp because I like Paddy Lipinski, half forward, rotating mid, on the wing. I just think it's going to run through his hands a lot. Jack Crisp, just after the game last week, I just wouldn't mind a little break on. He's only missed twice since last year. So what does that mean? He's like, 28 for 30. Very consistent, but just was going to give him a break. Darcy Cameron, I think, will just bully Matt Flynn. Darcy Cameron's probably like the 3rd best ruck this year behind like Cherry and Gawn. Just, having a great year. Tom McCarthy. All right, so you all probably saw the game last week. 10 kickouts. The only player for Eagles to hit 30 posies last week. What the fuck? 2 weeks ago because they had to buy. I was very tempted to include Ryan Marrick for 15 instead of him. Obviously not because I don't think he's going to take his role. I think Ryan Marrick has shown, even on the wing, he is very comfortable hitting 15. But Tom McCarthy, Collingwood have kicked like 12 behinds, 8 behinds, 12 behinds, like 18 behinds. They're going to probably pump West Coast. And I think there'll be definitely 10 behinds kicked in that game. So I think he's going to get a bunch of kickouts regardless. And, not that we're fully relying on the kickouts. He looked hungry. So he got 21 posies, not from kickouts, because he ran up the ground. He looked fantastic. And there's no way they're going to punish him or take that role away from him after a game like that. If anything, they're just going to let it keep going and thrive. And the reason I say that is because West Coast have had McGovern, Marrick, Duggan, Tyler Dewar, who's not actually playing this week, as kick-out options. And I just think after seeing him play, after that mid-season draftee, that was a great performance. Let him stay there. So we're going to ride that wave. Everyone else there I really like. So yeah, this bet was actually $4.55. Sorry, you see sometimes I haven't quite updated it at all. That was actually on Ned's, but I mean, not that it really matters. But yeah, I really like all those players, but I would take one leg out. I usually like $3 to $4. We'll see. Hopefully that one gets up, but that's what I've accidentally gone with. I like every player here. Liam Duggan's is probably a bit too short, but he will take a bit of kickouts with Tyler Dewar not playing. Paddy Lipinski, like I said, half forward on the wing. He's going to have every opportunity to get a lot of footy. Super consistent too, averaging in the next bracket. Harley Reid, I think he's had the one miss for the year. He is stepping up in that midfield role. He's getting less and less forward minutes, which is great if you're punting on him. So it's just, there's always just something about, betting on the shittest teams like mid against the top team. It's like, do you see Harley Reid getting 15 against, the Collingwood, who are in such great form at the moment? Like, he probably will still hit, but I don't know, just it's in the back of my mind. Jack Graham has had one miss this year, same as Harley Reid. Like, I think I would just go the Collingwood players first, because I think they're just going to obviously get more disposals, and then they're going to feast, they're going to have fun. So I'd rather go Collingwood players first. But yeah, Jack Graham and Harley Reid, I see nothing wrong with both of them. Darcy Cameron spoke about. Ryan Marrick I spoke about, but he got a 15 where he played like 65% game time or something, because he got subbed out in the last quarter as a tack sub. 18 and 17. Ryan Marrick on the wing is great for 15. And worst case scenario, whatever happens, he's going in the back line if something happens. So he's in his worst posi position at the moment. Well, actually, his worst posi would be forward, but I don't think he's going forward. But yeah, I like Ryan Marrick. Really, really like him. 20 posies, Steele and Pendlebury. Steele, who just missed last week, I'm very bullish on a play to bounce back. The only reason I'm slightly hesitant is just, I remember Jono saying ages ago that they were resting the old boys sometimes against these games. Like Saturday at Marvel against West Coast, I could easily see Steele or Pendlebury just coming off as a tack sub. They got to look after their old boys, especially when they're making such a great push for top 4. Like, yeah, why risk any injury when you're winning by probably 10 goals? Liam Baker has only had the 2 misses. Yeah, been fantastic. But he's kind of just hitting you. He had a 29 posi, but 23, 22, 24, 22. He's just, I don't know. I'd rather someone just a little bit more posies in that bracket. 25, highlighted Nick Dacos, but he's not much value. Josh Dacos could, pop off. But I like Josh Dacos. I do. Even though it's against West Coast. There's just been a couple of games this year where some players miss against West Coast. Melbourne was a good example, like a month or so ago, where all their backline players didn't hit. They don't need to. The ball is just being dominated in the mid going forward. But Josh Dacos could easily roll up and want the footy, but 25 is a lot to ask. Yeah, so Nick Dacos, just a little bit too short for 25, but oh fuck, I've got typos everywhere. Sorry, obviously trying to get this done in a hurry. 30 plus, not 20 plus. That'd be great. We'll all be jumping on. Yeah, 30 plus. Like I said, only had 2 stinkers, and he's been heavily tagged. I don't think that's happening. Goal scorers, actually didn't highlight any, but Jamie Cripps, I bet on him once this year, and it's when he got 0. Yeah, it's just hard to bet on someone. Nick Dacos, $1.40. Yeah, Nick Dacos, I think, is in Brownlow form. I think he could easily come in and kick one against West Coast. But I don't like betting on a midfielder for a goal. I like betting on a midfielder who will rest forward or play a bit forward. Petrarca to an extent, not much anymore. Chad Warner, Bond, those sort of players. But Nick Dacos in Brownlow form kind of, is that exception. But anyway, moving on to the Sunday game. First game is Sunday. So this one I really like. You can see I've got one player highlighted, Sam Banks, who's not in blue. And I usually always avoid these really cheap odds, but I included Sam Banks because just to get over the $3 mark, and I was very bullish on him for 20. So he just missed 20 last week. He got an 18. Still no Jaden Short. He's going to take a lot of the kickouts. I keep forgetting to update these. Sorry, 3.28. Yeah, really like what I'm seeing from Sam Banks, but the main, meat of the bet is Jacob Hopper, missed by one posi last week. I think that's been his only miss this year. Like Jacob Hopper, he's been in great form. He was against Bulldogs. Bulldogs just destroyed him. I can easily give him the benefit of the doubt, just missing by one posi. Isaac Rankin, I love against the shitter teams. His misses have all been very close. That's 16 from 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't remember which one that was from. But yeah, otherwise usually very close. But against the Richmond, a North, a West Coast, I really like Isaac Rankin to just bob up for 20. And goal scorers, Josh Rachele for 2. So he didn't kick any against Hawthorn in that disgusting game in Tasmania. But I can easily see him bouncing back. MCG, there's a slight chance of rain. But I still think they're just going to score. Like Thilthorpe, Rachele and Fogarty, like none of them kicked goals. It was low scoring, it was shit. And Rachele's kicked a goal in every game this year, and like 7 out of 10, coming off a miss, averaging 2 goals a game. I really like that. So yeah, and like I said, I think Adelaide will pump him. Adelaide look to be top 4 going up against Richmond, so I like all these players here. Peatling, Worrell, just a bit too short. Worrell I think is fantastic. $1.15. It'd be great if it was over $1.20. Sam Berry, I was bullish on him for 20. As soon as that sub roll got off him, he was hitting 20, but he's just not. I thought he had a bit more in him, so I've highlighted because I think he'll hit, but I thought he'd be doing a bit more. Wayne Malera has had just the 2 misses. Oh, is this one this year? Unless he's had all those games, but he seems to be probably the more consistent one when compared to Hinge. Mark Keane, I wouldn't bet on, too inconsistent, but yeah, I never would have thought I'd be betting on Wayne Miller over Mitch Hinge. I loved Mitch Hinge last year, fantastic. Just a bit too inconsistent this year. Ben Keys, this was my Ben Keys betting era, and as soon as I've stopped betting on him, he's hitting. So if I don't highlight him, he's going to hit. Actually, against Richmond, I could see him hitting, but yeah, I don't know. I've been burnt so many times by Ben Keys this year. 20 plus, Rory Laird, Jordan Dawson. Jordan Dawson, I think, will feast, probably get 3 Brownlow votes. Really like him. Can't really see anyone tagging it. I'm surprised I didn't include him. But like I said, I think just Rankin, I just like a little bit better, especially for that price. Dion Prestia, highlighted, just missed the week before, 21. His first game back just set the world on fire. I'm like, whoa. But Dion Prestia, I could easily see him just, not having a lot of time on ground, just old, rip a hammy. I don't know. I just don't like it. Hopper, who I said, just coming off a miss. I'm bullish to jump back on. Sam Banks, keen for 20, but we're just being very conservative, including him for 5, just to get us over that $3 line. In the 25, I could, Tim Taranto, I don't think Adelaide will have a tagging role. I think Tim Taranto has every chance to hit. Maybe Jordan Dawson, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like the 25. All these players have been a bit inconsistent for mine. Goal scorers, though. So you can see we've got the goal scorers and then the 2 plus down the bottom. So all the big boys last week missed. Ben, they're all a bit too short. Isaac Rankin, I actually like. I think he has every chance to kick one. I think Adelaide could win by 10 goals. So bullish on him. Lafau, I can't pronounce his first. I think, is it his first game for this year? He was actually very good last year. I'm pretty sure it's his first game. Can't really check the stats on the fly. It's a bit hard to set up, but yeah, I think he's a decent chance to kick one, but could be sub, could have low game time, just ease his way back into it. And Josh Rachele for 2 plus, coming off that miss. I think Thilthorpe could kick one. I just wish Thilthorpe didn't play as much ruck as he did. I would like him more in the forward line, but I guess that's what Darcy Fogarty's there for. But 2 misses for Fogarty. That is interesting. But yeah, obviously Rachele paying the better of those ones. All right. Last game for the Sunday, I haven't placed this one yet because remember, I don't have the same game tokens or the refund. Place your last bet when you can have it. Oh, I'll tell you what shit as well. I've heard some people in the chat, they can't get $50 refunds anymore. It's like 25 or 10. use other bookies if you have to for a bit. But yeah, it sucks. I think they're slowly culling it down. But for the meantime, I can still get $50 bonus bets on these. So yeah, that's very, very shit. Anyway, so these are the players I've highlighted for this one. I like them all. Bolton has had just one stinker. I think he's had 2 misses this year, but one genuine stinker. I can't remember who it was for, but it's when everyone from Freo shit the bed. Was it when they versed Collingwood? No, it was the other way around. Collingwood all missed. Freo had a stinker where like Sarong and Brayshaw also missed in that game too. Yeah, you can see there. Who it was against. Anyway, Windhager, he obviously been in the spotlight for the tagging role on Dacos, but he is playing in great form. So everyone's just not wanting that tagging role. But I think, yeah, if he plays on Brayshaw or Sarong, which he probably will. I mean, Rothline will, say fuck the media. I'm going to still tag as much as I can. I don't care if we lose. I'm going to try and limit Brayshaw or Sarong. But the point is, Windhager is still getting a lot of the footy himself, even though he's playing that tagging role. So, I mean, there's a chance he doesn't, but he's working out so well as that. He's playing fantastic. So Mason Wood, I really like when he's back on the wing, which he has been this last month. So he's just hitting, but that's the risk reward you get when he's $1.60. Those stinkers is when he was playing half forward. So obviously he's not. I would never bet on like the only full forward or half forward I bet on this year is like Sam Darcy. But yeah, Mason Wood when he's on the wing, I like. But yeah, he's just going to hit or just going to come close. Wanganeen Miller has done nothing wrong all year. Been absolutely fantastic. One miss by one posse. And he's been hitting when he's had a head knock, when he's done his ankle. He'll always get back out there, miss a quarter of footy and still hit. So love Wanganeen Miller. Yeah, awesome player. Not many other options here that I've highlighted. Matt Johnson, yeah, playing on the wing, opposite Jeremy Sharp, will come in around the ball a little bit. Great odds, but I don't know. I just maybe haven't seen him as much, but he's averaging almost in the next bracket. So yeah, Bolton, Windhager, I've mentioned. There's just not many people here. That Garcia, yeah, Neil Erasmus, Darcy Wilson got dropped a bit. Hunter Clark, just a bit inconsistent and injury prone. Corey Wagner, I mean, I doubt he'll tag, but he has been used as a tagger a couple of times. If he's on half back, I think he's every chance to hit, but don't like. Wood on the wing, yeah, not much here to pick from. 20 plus, it's also pretty grim, but these odds will hopefully change, and I might do a post for Sunday just when the odds change. Sinclair missed by 1. Sinclair usually always hits 20, so I think he'll definitely bounce back. I don't think his odds will go up, but yeah. Jack McRae is in great form. I mean, I could have Wagner. I don't see it. I think Freo are very comfortably going to win this one. I don't see him having to do a tag job. Jordan Clark, I've bet on him so much this year. It's a shame to see him at $1.16 because it's like, well, I don't know. Now I can't really bet on you. What is he for 25? He's $1.64. He's hit 3 out of 4 in his last month. I just don't quite see him there in the next bracket, but yeah, he's playing great at the moment. But yeah, anyway, he's in that territory where he's teetering on which bracket to go for at the moment. But if you can get him for $1.20 on game day, then I'd go for that. Otherwise, nothing else I really like. Luke Jackson, yeah, he's the sole ruck at the moment, but he's gone up against Rowan Marshall, who's a great ruck in himself, and he just got 21 against the first gamer. Like, we got Luke Jackson last week, or we don't need to back him again. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't see him as having a beast of a game as he did last week. 25, Brayshaw, Wanganeen Miller, I like, but Brayshaw and Sarong could just easily cop a Windhager tag. I feel like Wanganeen Miller off halfback is just going to run free. And you know what? I think Sinclair will bounce back. He sometimes does have those games where, look, you can see he gets 21 or 20, but then he bounces back the following week. So I like Sinclair to bounce back. Goal scorers, Murphy Reed, I've actually highlighted the last couple of weeks and he's hit all those games. Cooper Sharman, yeah, but again, these goal scorers don't stand out to me too much, so not much here for the last game of Sunday. But remember, just to see how the rest of your bets go before you do this, because yeah, you just have all your bets covered and stuff first, because that's how we've won the last 2 weeks, because we've had bonus bets, be pretty beneficial. So yeah, anyway, I will end this now and get the video uploaded. Hopefully it's out before the first game of Saturday. But again, thank you so much. And I'm just going to emphasize, this is the last one I'm going to do down here at Mum's. I'm going to have more time when I'm back home in Brisbane. I'll be able to go through a bit more of the bets from the previous week, who missed, who's in good form. Also, Jono should be available too, so we'll be able to bounce ideas off. But for the meantime, just me, and might change next week, but I'll keep you guys posted. Thanks again so much for the comments, the likes. It's great to see the engagement. I haven't had much of a chance to respond, obviously, because I'm down with family, but yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. And this is the last week of the bye rounds. I can't wait till we're fully back into it next week, and we'll go all out before the finals. So yeah, very keen. All right, until then, I'll talk to you guys next week. All right, peace.